Oh, how to build a pub.
Howdy, and welcome to the Build a Pub podcast, with me, Alex Ravenhall, the only person in my Year 6 science class to say that the moon was made of cheese, unironically. The Build a Pub podcast is a spin-off of my original series, Social Isolation. I invite guests onto the podcast to, as the name suggests, build their own pubs. From what they have on draft, to what food they serve, to what music they're playing, to, whatever they really fancy. The imagination's the limit, and hopefully get with them also to share with me some thoughts and anecdotes on the public house. I'm also going to be releasing these bi-weekly every Wednesday and Sunday for the foreseeable future. If you can't wait that long, you can also find all 11 episodes of Social Isolation on this very channel. The usual thanks go out to the brilliant Sam Nason and the superb Jack Petheram for everything they've done to help the podcast get going. Today, I'm joined by Mr. Ben Kelly, who's going to build a pub so summery you can only enter if you're wearing a copious amount of fake tan. Growing up, my mum used to always say, patience is a virtue, possess it if you can. And if you can't, don't glorify alcohol, because it doesn't solve anything. I was never very patient, but I do start every podcast by saying don't glorify alcohol, so I hope you're proud, Mom. Now sit down, drink responsibly, or I'll be livid, and enjoy.
Oh, how to build a pub.
Right, now we've sorted out those technical little bits and bobs, I'm ready to start the podcast with my guest today. He is a medical student studying at Dundee, who I first met properly pub quizzing, which makes him absolutely perfect for this podcast. He was also taught at school by my mom, who he knew before me, which once again proves the fact that she's a lot cooler than me. I'm delighted to have with me Mr. Ben Kelly. How are you today, sir?
Hello, I'm fine. I'm enjoying the sunny weather, some nice high temperatures for once.
It's a little bit too hot though, isn't it? It's 25 degrees or so.
Borderline, I think. It's getting on that verge, but it's just the right temperature to discuss some summer beverages, some pubs, some good old times with friends.
I'll tell you what, Ben, you do this better than me. I love it. I want you to really nicely segue into all the questions. You've got it. That's your task for today. Lovely stuff. Ben, what is the pub to you? Is it a place you go with friends? Is it a place you go with family? Is it a place you go to get drunk? Or is it a place you go to have a conversation? Lots of options.
I think it depends on the situation. More often than not, I'm in the pub with friends rather than family. But
yeah.
Not opposed to it. I don't think my parents go to the pub that much together, but I'd really enjoy to do that. But more with friends. I enjoy it as a toned down version of like a night out. It's like more of a get-together, easier to converse, talk about some funny things, talk about some serious things if you want. Anything can be done over a pint, just like anything can be done over a cup of tea, I suppose. But
yeah.
That's my baseline. It's a nice, relaxed, fun activity to do with just about anyone you can find.
It's funny you say that because my next podcast, The Builder Coffee Shop, is coming out soon. So good way to segue into that one. Lovely. Do you know what's weird, Ben? We both live in the same village. We both have a local pub. I don't know about you, but I never go. I don't go to the Crown at all.
I don't go to the Crown for alcohol. I would go for like a meal with my family, just like every so often if we're just a bit lazy or something. But I don't go. I'm more likely to just segue down the road into Yarm.
Yeah. Is that because the Crown is more of a restaurant-y pub, would you say? Because I have thought about this. Like, I've only really gone to the Crown once, and it is literally, for both of us, about a minute walk, pretty close, quite a small kind of country. In theory, it's my perfect type of pub. And I just thought, I don't really go. Why is that the case?
I think it's a bit more gastropub. It's more... And the people in there are all middle-aged. And the thing is, we live in such a village that we might be the only two people under the age of 20 or so,
Yeah.
Or maybe when we're going to the pub, we're meeting people who live in the surrounding area, and then Yarm is the sole focal point anywhere, and it's just easy to get to for everyone. And then you get a choice there as well. So
yeah, that's true. You can go... And it's a little bit cheaper as well in Yarm. Well, it depends where you go, obviously. And it depends what you're drinking. Speaking of, Ben... What would you say is the most expensive drink you've ever had? And for this one, see, I always thought it was just the most amount of money. But we had someone on who went for a really expensive, cheap drink. And I was like, oh shit, that's like, he paid £5.50 for a VK, I think. Which is just disgusting behaviour. So it's you can either go either way with it. So like, you paid a ridiculous amount for something you thought was really cheap. or you can go for just ridiculously expensive.
On the topic of expensive VKs, I was at the medical school sports tournament in Edinburgh, and I was in Attic in Edinburgh, which is a club, and my most expensive VK would have been £4.20, and for me that was already high, because I'm used to £2 VKs, but £5. My most expensive drink, this one is bewilderingly expensive, by accident, entirely accidental.
Yeah.
Entirely. I was interrailing with my friends this summer, me and 4 other friends, and our first stop was Amsterdam, and we had a good day sort of just bedding in and looking around and, exploring a bit, and then we thought, right, first night of a more cultural lads holiday, but, we're going to stick to the staples, stick to the alcohol.
Yeah.
Straight away we found this, we just searched clubs in Amsterdam, and it came up, and it was this massive, it was an old abandoned silk mill factory thing, and on the front there was a neon sign called Melkweg in massive writing,
yeah,
cursive. Honestly, it's the coolest club I've ever seen from the outside. The queue was 45 minutes long. I get inside, oh, this is really good. There's heavy dance music, and I thought, right, I'll just go to the bar and get a drink straight away. And I said to the man at the bar, I was like, can I just have a double vodka Red Bull? Because I was thinking, oh, I'm quite, tired, a little bit tired, and everyone else was drinking pints around me, so I thought, oh, it's weird that they're drinking pints in the club, but
yeah,
that was Ian, I suppose. So I said, can I have a double vodka Red Bull? And he was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And he poured 2 shots into shot glasses, and then poured them into my drink, and then opened a can of Red Bull, and he tilled them through separately, and I spent those on a double vodka Red Bull.
How much was it, sorry?
€17.
For 17?
€17, and that is the only time I've ever spent more than maybe £10 on a drink, and I never will again.
€17. That is ridiculous. Also, for the drink you're drinking, it's not even that is ridiculous, because normally you think the gins, your gins are quite expensive. Not a double vodka Red Bull. That is actually, that makes me feel physically sick. That is horrific.
The whole continent of Europe are backwards. They drink pints in plastic cups in clubs, and I was just thinking, I don't want a big heavy drink to sort of weigh me down or to barge about and spill everywhere. And has that just gone? No,
I've still got you. Don't worry. Yeah. No, I'm with you. But that is a scary amount of money for something so cheap. I mean, as I say, I could just about justify it for a really some cocktail with a bit of gold sprinkled on it. Some of those bullshit things you get. 70. I think that is not the most expensive we've had, but the most ridiculous rip-off I think we've had so far. That is awful. Speaking of in training, did you do a lot of drinking in every city, or was it just in Amsterdam?
No, it was every city. It was just about every city, and you'll see some more of those drinks featuring perhaps later on a couple of different questions. But no, it was every other night maybe. Most days would have alcohol in there, but every other night would be we're going to go out, or we're going to stay out for a while.
Yeah.
Have some good. There was a brilliant club next to the main bridge in Prague. I can't remember the name of the bridge, but it's quite a famous bridge.
Yeah.
It was a 7-floor club.
7 floors, Christ.
7 floors, and each floor was different, and there was barely any English people in it. There were some Irish people who we met, and they shut the floors down at 3:30, and it was the top one shut at 3:30, then the next one shut at 1 past, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. So it was literally we were on the top floor, we moved down, had a minute, moved down, had a minute, moved down, had a minute, and everybody was having a brilliant time. That was really fun.
And I won't go into the drinks, obviously you mentioned them, but would you say, so obviously you covered a lot of countries, was there a massive variation in drinking culture? I mean, more so in bars. I mean, obviously you might have gone to clubs more often, but say when you go into a pub, how does it compare to the UK? And were there any in particular you thought was a really weird kind of, you went in, it was a completely different atmosphere to what you'd have expected, or how it is in the UK? Because I know we went to Budapest and there's a lot of sports bars, which they are in the UK, but it's not as much of a thing. Most bars we went past were sports bars rather than just your kind of villagey bars and pubs. So yeah, were there any distinct differences you remember?
So there was the beer in clubs, and that was everywhere.
Yeah.
Beer is a strange one for me, because I would never consider to have draft beer in a pub. A couple times, including in that club in Prague, there was the draft pint where you put it on sort of a placemat and push it down and it fills up from the bottom upwards rather than up down.
Yeah.
That was crazy for me. Other than that, I just think lots of bars were more quiet than they would be in the UK on any evening, and people in the places we were already English speaking. So even though I wasn't in my home country, so a lot of people were English. So I must have been a high percentage of tourists in. So I don't know, it's different.
Well, maybe the fact is that there are so many English tourists that they just bring drinking culture wherever they go. So maybe in other places it's a lot more understated, and just the English come through and just throw everything to the wall, and they bring their kind of boozy, a little bit binge drinky kind of vibes across Europe.
We do bring that culture, and it's people. I bet in a foreign country you can play up to that so much.
Yeah.
So much money off the back of that. And I'm just saying, but maybe that's a little direction I'm going to be heading in. But I will say no more until further questions.
You know what? Stop with this tantalising little tidbits. I'm going to go straight in. Welcome, Mr. Ben Kelly, to your Build a Pub pitch. It's a very big pitch, obviously. You want to build your dream pub, but doesn't everyone? And the first things first, you've got to find an investor. Big money investor, someone who's going to really be able to sell your pub, advertise it, pay for everything you want, literally make it the pub of your dreams. Who are you going to pitch it to, Ben?
I've selected this person because I think he is a suave gentleman and would know a lot about things that I don't. And bearing in mind, I'm planning on not basing it in the UK. I'm basing it in the Mediterranean. I'm going to go for a certain footballer called Andrea Pirlo.
Oh, hello. He is... Oh, my God. I don't know how no one's picked that before. That is a beautiful option. I must say, you're going to have a lot of pressure on your wines. I feel like he's a very... I bet he has his own vineyard. I bet he's one of those.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was assuming.
That is fantastic. Now, Andrea Pirlo, he's heard some things. He's heard some things about a certain Ben Kelly in a certain pub, and he decided to check it out for himself. Now, as you say, it's not based in the UK. As a start-up question, where is it based, just so we can get Pirlo to the right airport?
Okay. I'm sort of stuck between a couple, but I am thinking Italian coastline or Croatian coastline.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a sort of tavern based on a cliff above like a shore with some limestone arches and terracotta roofing and daisies coming through the pavement and lots of patio furniture. Quite dark inside, but on the outside, ivy and everything just creeping everywhere.
I'll tell you what, that sounds just like a place where you'd have an action sequence in a Bond film. There'd be someone running away and he'd be jumping over the terracotta tiling and things, and then they'd end up jumping off the cliff in a Ferrari or something. No, Aston Martin, obviously. It would just be a huge set piece. I love the sound of that. I mean, that proves it. It's fantasy. It's in films. That's how much of an ideal this pub is. It's lovely. So Pirlo jumps out of his gondola, and he steps out, and the first thing he sees, obviously, is the pub's name on the front of the pub. It's a big thing because obviously that's the pub's identity, really, isn't it? The name of the pub. So it's it's going to set a very distinctive first impression for Mr. Pirlo. So Ben, what have you gone for?
Well, you see, I'll say for the sake that it's in Italy, rather. I would not feel comfortable naming it something English in a foreign country if it is tailored more to locals than tourists or so. But I don't know any Italian. I speak zero Italian. I'm going to say it in English, and whatever the translation is, the direct translation, I'll take that.
Yes.
But it's a double entendre of On the Rocks.
Oh, Ben. This is what I want to hear. This is exactly the type of thing I was expecting from you, Ben. And you are, I must say, Pirlo's got a little grin on his face. Why, Ben? Why have you gone for On the Rocks?
Well, if it's such a villa, a rustic bistro bar up on some jaggedy cliff edge, people are going to be serving some nice cocktails on some ice and obviously on the rocks.
Yeah.
And if it is water, then it is on the rocks. It's a beautiful play on words, if I may say so myself.
You may say so yourself, because it's your pub and you put some beautiful thought into it. Perlo is content. You passed the very first test. He's got a little grin in his face, and the first thing he does is he walks up into the bar and he sees you and he goes, "On the rocks," and you go, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah." And it's, it's a good little first start. But Perlo has come along. With some other Italian legends that I can't think to name. We'll go for Daniel De Rossi, he's still around. And first things first, Perlo wants to get De Rossi a drink. And De Rossi has asked for something on draft. He hasn't specified really. And so Perlo turns back to the bar, and on the bar you have 4 drinks on draft. You have 2 beers and 2 ciders. Mr. Ben Kelly, what are the options for Mr. Daniel De Rossi?
2 beers. See, I was playing with the idea of having like a lager and then a more ale drink.
Yeah.
But at the same time, on an Italian coastline, for Italian men and women, it's very unlikely that you're going to get a black sheep or a Guinness.
No, exactly.
Play towards. The first one I'm going to go with is Peroni, just because it is Italian, it is smart. It may be more expensive, but that's the sort of calibre of person I'm looking to bring. Perlo and De Rossi are already here.
Yeah.
With sumptuous like Peroni, I don't think we can go wrong.
I think you're right there. I think, I just, it's the type of place where rich people go on holiday, do you know what I mean? And they go up this little hill, and as you say, the wind's lashing the sides, but it's like a soft wind, that's a warm wind running through, and you just sat, mate. I'm there in my head. I really am, as is Mr. Perlo. So what have you gone for then? So you got the Peroni and
this other one is not as based in like tailoring to the people. It's more a memory for me.
Yes.
I've been to Croatia a couple times now, 2 or 3, and it's unlikely to find a beer that I've heard of while I am there. However, there was a consistent 2 lagers again that I really enjoyed drinking. One of which was called Zusko, the other one was called Karlovachko. Both tasted relatively similar price. Just a golden nectar, very fizzy, just would hit perfectly in sort of a Moretti glass, I would probably say the Zusko would tip it for me, just because it has a nice logo as well.
Yeah, always helps.
Fond memories by the ocean, drinking a Zusko in the past couple of years, and I would love to bring that to the Italian coastline.
Fantastic. And do you know what you've done there beautifully? You were stuck between Croatia and Italy, so when you can't be in Croatia, bring Croatia to you. You've brought it to the country, and I'll tell you what, it's going down a treat. Now, De Rossi is going to go for a beer, but he does notice you've got some nice, because it's quite hot, and he'd like something a bit like a cool cider as well, so he's eyeing up his options. So what ciders have you got to offer Mr. Daniel De Rossi?
See, myself, I'm really not a cider person.
Yeah.
I think I jump from sort of lighter spirits into beers, but one cider that I have enjoyed before, I remember drinking a lot of it when I was in Riga in November. In the hostel we were in, you're allowed a free drink with your breakfast, and it could be orange juice, apple juice, or an alcoholic drink.
A good way to start the day.
I was with the medical football team, and everyone was just getting, and there was like 1 beer and 1 cider, but this cider, Somersby, was so sweet, and it went down so quickly. Apple or pear. I think of the Heineken Group, or Carlsberg Group, owned by that company.
Yeah.
It was just, I had no complaints with it, just because it was it was pretty sweet, it was fizzy, and it wasn't bitter in any way. I just really enjoyed either apple or pear, but I think I'm going to go for apple just because it's more original. Yeah.
See, I've never really had an apple or a pear cider, because I'm not a massive cider person, so if I'm going to drink it, it's more just it goes down easy, so I'm more of I daren't say it, a dark fruits type of person. Not Strombo dark fruits, don't get me wrong, but other sorts of those type of drinks, the quite sweet ones. However, there is a lovely cloudy apple that Strombo do, which I quite like.
I know.
It's a pretty good one. So yeah, but I like this. Summersby, is it?
Yeah, Somersby. That's really nice, actually. I don't even know if I've even seen it in the UK. I'm pretty sure it probably is.
Yeah.
But I've never really opted for a cider myself to even buy it. But that was one drink that I really did enjoy.
Oh, fantastic! And what about the other one?
I am struggling to find a second cider. However, just on the basis of if any tourists do come here and they are maybe not a beer drinker or they don't want to take a risk on anything, I will just go for dark fruits, just to play to all different areas, have all cards on the table. Anyone can have anything they like. So that would be my fourth draft.
There are two good things there, Ben. Firstly, you've picked the crowd breeds because at the end of the day, you are a business. You know, you've got to satisfy people coming in, and also that would work really well for me because if ever one day I was very rich and famous, and I managed very much to get on the rocks to the pub, I would go in there being really suave and then just whisper to you. Can I have a strawberry dark fruit? But you know, no one would know. I'd put it in a Somerbees glass or whatever, so it looked proper sophisticated. But that's why it works for me personally, and I think Somerby sounds like a Perlo drink as well. I think he's a big fan of it.
Enjoy a bit of that, and I think Perlo would admire the commercialism of having a dark fruits to not just play to Mediterranean people.
Exactly.
Bring people from overseas. People who retract from the beach in the cove and they come up for like a 4 p.m. sort of pint just before they go back to their Airbnb.
That is perfect. Tell you what, Derossi's so impressed that he's asked you for a recommendation. So out of those four, which one do you reckon he should have?
Well, the man's probably had quite a lot of Peroni in his life.
Yeah.
I would admit. And I don't feel like he's a cider person, so I would recommend him to have the Ozusko, just because I could share one with him and tell him about the times I've been on holiday and good times I've had.
Exactly, and that's what you want. I love a good rapport between a bar staff and the regulars. I think that's something so important about a pub, that you can actually develop that relationship. So for instance, we were talking about the Crown. Which, you know, I don't go to that often, but the one time I did go to properly drink, I went with my sister's boyfriend, and it was just me, him, and the bar manager in there, and we just sat and talked all night watching the Liverpool Champions League game. So I like being able to be a part of the bar experience, and you know, if you can share these memories, if you've got memories attached to them, it's going to make people enjoy the drink more, because they'll also make when they think of the drink, they'll think about you, they'll think about your pub. And you'll get return customers, Ben. Honestly, it's just brilliant marketing. Now, Derossi's happy. He's gone off.
The people in the Crown, by the way, really, really nice people.
Oh, yeah.
And because often we go with Monty as well, they recognise Monty more than they recognise us, our dog. So if we're ever walking around Killington, they'll be like, oh, I know those people. And they make an effort. And I think that's a good thing. I would like to carry that sort of established relationship building into on the rocks rather than just keeping around.
I'll tell you what the Crown thing might be. It might be just a generational thing, as that like the people who have grown up with the pub, or say like the same people of the same generation. Because like my dad loves it there, my mum loves it there. It might just be more of an adult place, you know, and that might be something that's appealing about it. Because if you haven't got loads of kids getting maybe more pissed in there, then it's more of like a casual pub. But yeah, it's pretty fantastic, and yeah, I think you want to bring in that community vibe, I think, into your pub. That is fantastic, Ben. Now, it's the big question. Perlo's asking for a drink, and you know what he wants. He wants a delightful wine. You have two on offer. You have a red and a white. Ben, what are you going to go for?
Well, you see, I drink red wine. I do drink red wine, but I would drink red wine at uni sometimes, but I just pick a bottle from the shelf. I do not look at the bottle.
I'm the same.
And if I ever am to drink red wine, not at uni, I'm at home, and my dad has selected it, or like it's come, my dad's bought it. So I never really pay attention. But I know red-wise, I like more like a Merlot or a Malbec. I do like both of those. Yeah. However, I am adamant that if Andrea Pirlo was to co-own this pub, he would have a much more refined opinion than myself.
Yes.
And there is definitely going to be local vineyards around this pub, somewhere nearby, that I could bring from. So I'll just say, just generally, either a Merlot or a Malbec that's just not very far away. You know, keep my carbon footprint low, have some local. You know, it'll be brilliant. It'll be fine.
I'll tell you what, a proper local, like generally like on the way to the pub, you pass a vineyard, you get it from there. It's, you know, proper local, you know, no artificials or anything, proper good old fashioned wine, you know.
You know, from just maybe 500 metres down the road, you know, you get a good few bottles, and that's all you're ever going to need. That's all you're ever going to need, just this local. I
think Pirlo will appreciate keeping it within the Italian economy as well, so that's another huge bonus. And I think, and also, as you say, with his advice and expertise, you'll have some of the greatest wine. You'll have the greatest wine collection known to man. But he is gonna also, you know, because he's having to size you up a little bit. He's gonna ask after the white as well, just to be sure. So what have you gone for on the white?
I have never drank red wine for more than 2 sips. I mean, white wine. Sorry, apologies. Yeah. Because I have acid reflux, and the moment white wine or champagne ever touches my lips, or any fizzy wine, I instantly shoot right up to the middle of my chest, so heavily. So I would have to ask my mum, because she likes more white wine than me. But I will put that down to the discretion of a super suave 2006 World Cup winner.
Yes. You know? I mean, to be fair, as you say, he's just got the expertise, and like, to be fair, I like that you're using your person, because at the end of the day, it is a joint business. So you're using him, and at the end of the day, if anyone knows about wine, it's Andrea Pirlo, completely and utterly.
What a man he is! I just think, to talk more about Andrea Pirlo, his brain when he's playing football and his feet are in absolute harmony. Now, he's a brilliant footballer, and he's not just that, but he's a sophisticated man who would definitely wear a suit even if he was just staying inside. And he would like his reds, he'd like his whites. Did you see what he said about the 2006 World Cup and what he did during the day?
Yes, but I'd love to hear it again.
He, because he's such a relaxed man, he likes to take it easy, I think, as well as being such a top-end figure.
Yeah.
He likes to chill. He said, during the day, I played the PlayStation and FIFA, and on the evening, I went out and won the World Cup. And I think that is the sort of attitude, laid back. I'll have that man be my co-owner at any point he wishes.
Literally, I mean, can you get any more suave and like any more not giving a fuck than playing PlayStation during the day, win the World Cup in the evening? I mean, I don't even own a PlayStation, so I'm never going to win the World Cup. It's just really not fair, is it? Some people get everything in life.
Oh, that's I bet he must be brilliant at FIFA as well, just because, you know, he's so intelligent. During normal football, he's probably, you know, the best FIFA player there is as well.
I mean, it's the technical side of it. Also, what is very underestimated about him is he kept at the top level for so long. Like, the span of his career is exceptional. He was at the peak of football. He was making top 20 players a year for a good 10 years. He was just the top of the top, and he's one of those players who is quite often undervalued as someone who just does their part. He's not a flashy player, but he's just a workhorse, and he's just absolutely exceptional. And he does it, as you say, just with such sophistication. You know, the way he slices the ball across the field. Oh, could talk about Andrea Pirlo for bloody hours. Absolutely fantastic footballer.
I know. The cogs in his brain when he's playing, they're just so smooth. He knows exactly what he's going to do before he even gets the ball. I think he's never been the other thing is he's never really played outside Italy that much. I mean, he played for New York City for a while, but mainly he was Italian born and bred, been there until he was like maybe 35, 40. So if anyone knows anything about top end Italy, it's going to be that man. And the amount of advice he could give me on how to tailor to other top end figures, I am more than happy to listen to him.
I mean, his career is literally being catered for by the top end of Italy. You know, the highest form of, you know, pubs, bars, restaurants, hotels. So as you say, the knowledge he has, and I think I like the care and attention you've got with your choice of person you're pitching to, because he can offer you a lot more back than you might think. And I think that's a fantastic choice. Hey up, look who's turned up. Gianluigi Buffon. He's come in. He's ready for a bit of a party, and.
Wow.
He's gone straight up to Pearl and he's going, "Oi, Pearls, get us some spirit and such." And he's like, "Oh yeah, of course, Gianluigi, you go and sit with De Rossi and have a great time." Now you have on offer, of course, Mr. Ben Kelly, 3 spirits. Now with this one, you can either go for types of alcohol, you know, vodka, gin, rum. You can go for a specific type, so you could have 3 specific vodkas, 3 specific gins. Or you could have one of each, but specifics for each. So like Absolute vodka, Gordon's gins, Captain Morgan's rum. So, you know, a little bit to play with. Interpret it how you like. Ben, what are you going to offer the greatest keeper of all time, in my opinion?
I have a couple that I don't think he would go for. But I will start with the one that I think he would most likely pick. But first and foremost, I believe he's probably a wine man. But if he wasn't a wine man, he would be a gin man.
Yeah.
He would a gin with maybe some I don't know, he'd probably like something a bit wild, a little bit of pepper in there, or you know, just a little bit of something different. But no, definitely a gin and tonic for that man. On the rocks, of course, as all drinks should be served in my pub.
Yeah.
I think he would definitely enjoy that. A second spirit, definitely a crowd pleaser. Vodka. Because I think it's a crime not to. Just because, you know, if you don't want something on draft and you just don't want something too filling or whatever, I think vodka would be the correct option, just because it tailors to everybody.
It's in the similar vein of the strongbow. You know, you've got to have certain things in there, like the staples of a pub, just to make sure you're getting everyone in case it's a slow night with the €100 tippers. You know, you need to get in some people out on a stag do or a hen do. You need to get them in, and you get them in with vodka and Strombo dark fruit. Lovely stuff, Ben. Option number 3.
Option number 3. So this one's more of a sentimental one for me. Again, from Riga. So I was just stumbling through a foreign supermarket, as you know, the best thing to do is when you live in a foreign country. This was in Latvia, so I was not expecting to see that much stuff that I had ever come across before. I picked up a bottle of lemonade because I thought I'd rather not get a few bottles of beer, so I got a bottle of lemonade. I thought I'll just get a spirit. I'll just have some vodka or something. And then they had this spirit offer, and I was like, what on earth is that? And it looked like a very tall, matte black kind of hairspray, and it had sort of silver baroque styling on it.
Yeah. And
it was called Riga Black, and I thought that Riga Black sounds a bit heavy and a bit dark for me, or whatever it is. And then I read on English on the back rather than Latvian. It's like blackcurrant. It was blackcurrant flavoured. It was like sort of a blackcurrant spirit that was like being sweated down, and it was about 35%, but it was so sweet. It was so sweet. And that with lemonade was fantastic. I really enjoyed drinking that. And if I'm going to bring, you know, some stuff from Croatia, I might as well bring some stuff from, you know, more Eastern Europe as well. So I would bring Riga Black, because I haven't had that since, and I don't think I could get that in the UK, and I really did enjoy that.
That's fantastic. I've had before, one of my favourite ciders actually, was, I think it was Copperberg Black, which once again is this really deep, rich, sweet blackcurrant flavour, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I wonder if it's like a brand, this kind of alcohol black, of just these really quite strong blackcurrant flavours that come through, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It really was. And that sounds like heaven to me, because I'm not a massive fan of base spirits, you know, I really can't hack them very well. So something like that, kind of like a really thick blackcurrant, that suits me really well. And it's also, once again, a lovely unique answer. I like it a lot, Ben.
Thank you very much.
Now, oh sorry.
I was going to say, imagine Jaeger, but not Jaeger flavour, like Ribena flavour.
Oh,
I thought that's all that I could describe it as. So it was just really heavy, thick, syrupy, blackcurrant, 35% goodness. And that was, oof.
It's interesting you say that, because I think absinthe tastes of Jaeger as well. I think Jaeger's quite a distinctive taste that kind of flows through, like, it's got its own like spirit family.
That's my drink of choice, actually. I don't think I've met many people who actually do this, but if I'm going to have a spirit mixer and I'm going to have it at uni or at Prees or something, I'll buy Jaeger and Coke. Because no one ever really uses Jaeger that much as a mixer apart from with Red Bull, but if you put Jaeger and Coke together, it's really nice. I really enjoy that.
Is it?
So, yeah, it's almost a little bit Dr. Peppery, but I don't like Dr. Pepper. It's just more of a spiced Coke. I don't know, it's got a little bit of something about it. I really would recommend everybody to try that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know why Jaeger gets such a hard time compared to rum, because I think fundamentally they're kind of similar concepts. You know, they're kind of like a sweeter, kind of, as you say, richer, spicier version of, you know, your classics. Yeah, I'm quite a Jaeger man. I think, in fact, I did this a long time ago. This podcast, as in my own podcast, because, you know, I'm egotistical. I picked Jaeger, I think, as one of mine, and it's not a massively popular one. But to be fair, I do prefer the Riga Black. I think it's got more of a unique edge, and once again, you're bringing in this multiculturalness to the place that I absolutely love. Now, Gianluigi is about to go for the gin, as he suggested, but he's in a proper party mood. He's being a bit silly, and he goes, "Oi, Perlo, get us a cocktail." But Gianluigi Buffon has a rule, and that is, if he concedes more than 2 goals in a game, he has to run around his block 5 times. And his other rule is that he only drinks signature cocktails. So he doesn't go for this main brand bullshit. He only drinks the signature cocktails. So Andre turns to you and he goes, "Ben, what signature cocktail have you got for, you know, the greatest Italian international keeper in the world?"
I've not given thought. I thought about like a basis to put it on. So this is me just spitting some flavours out there now. But I'm imagining like a crystal gin glass, so quite a short glass, not like a tall, funky glass, just a very basic glass.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have maybe 3 cubes of ice, maybe 4 if I'm feeling, you know, like swindling customers a little bit by giving them a little bit less.
Yeah.
I would then put. Does it have to be stuff? This isn't stuff that I've got on my list, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is only here for this cocktail.
Mate, do it. It can be anything you want.
I'm going to put because we're next to the sea, and I feel like there's going to be such a breeze. I'm going to put a salt rim around the top, just to give it that panache, that flair.
Yeah.
And then start off with the base of elderflower gin, and then I'm gonna. I don't know. I think then a little bit of Prosecco, not a lot, but enough to fizz it up and then make it more bodied. Then some apple juice and some mint.
Ooh, I like the mint at the end. It kind of takes it in a new direction.
And then maybe either garnish it with cucumber, like a little cucumber curl, or if I could somehow incorporate a little bit of fresh cucumber into that as well.
Yeah.
Do that. It's very fresh, very light, just like the breeze.
Oh, hello. Is that his name? The breeze.
Oh, go on. Can't wait for the sea breeze with the salt round.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it writes itself, and then you can get a breeze, and then a sea breeze is with the salt around the edge.
Yes.
You know. And obviously, you've got a little bit, that is... Oh, Ben, honestly, you managed to describe that so well that it came up with its own name. And apologies if you did have another name going for it.
Oh, actually, I was gonna spit some random Italian words. Out the back of my mind.
That was... Oh, I'll tell you what, not only is Gianluigi going to have that, even Perlo and De Rossi, they're going to get a round of sea breezes. Oh, lovely stuff. Now, they go away for a little bit, and you're like, okay, first test done. You know, they've sampled the alcohol, it seems to be going well. And you just carry on, you know, you wipe down some surfaces, you talk to some of the other customers, all, you know, very rich and affluent from around these areas. And then Perlo calls you over, and you've got your heart drops the ball, your stomach, you're like, okay, it's fine, I'm doing well, everything's gone well. And you sit across from Perlo, and he looks at you very seriously, and he goes, look, in Italian, he goes, look, you're doing a very good job so far. I must say you've got a very good choice of alcohol, and I think I can personally add some nice wine to that as well. So I think we've got very good foundations here, Ben. But I'm not going to lie to you. me and my fellow Italian internationals are sat here, and we don't know how to gauge this place. We don't really know what the vibe is. I mean, we know it's by the sea and it's got that nice easy feel, but if we're honest, we won't know until we get it from the horse's mouth. And you are this horse, because we need to know what your best pub experience is. And I'll tell you for why, because if you can then try and put that into this place, then we know what to expect. I know what I'm investing in. I know what atmosphere and what vibe you're putting into place. So please, Mr. Ben Kelly, can you tell me, over the barking of my dogs, I do apologise, what is your best pub experience?
Best pub experience is it's very, very difficult. I find that really hard to answer. I haven't written anything down. I thought I would spout for this one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether to go for something very close to home and easy, or something that was sort of unique and out there.
You can list some if you'd like, while you're thinking it through.
Maybe I could go for something that I did interrailing, and just a lot of the time it would be sort of sitting having some random bar that we can find, just like this one near the sea. Probably not as fancy as lots of pubs in Dundee there's one in Dundee it's like a speakeasy. It's not got a front, it just has a door and a bouncer stood in front of the door and a little light above it. And I went there with my girlfriend Morgan. Not my best friend Morgan, the other girlfriend.
Not the first episode, Morgan. Yeah, no, I got you.
And we went in, and it probably has about four tables, all of which are tall tables with 2 seats. And there's a big round semicircle bar with just about everything. It's very dimly lit, and there's Latin music, and it's very Cuban, and there's lots of rums and everything, and there's just one man shaking on drinks, like chucking them up in the air and catching them down, and I thought that was really fun, and we had a really good time there, just speaking to people. But my favourite pub experience, one that I always look forward to, very repetitive, but just so nice to meet people, the pub quiz at the waiting room. It's the only answer I can give, just because it gives me so many situations where I can just sit and chat, and there's I can't really think of that many massive distinctive memories, but there's always odd questions, like when you did the 364 gifts across the 12 days of Christmas, and the naming of the Newcastle Ferris wheel. I love all that stuff, but just meeting people, having good organic pints, by the way, which are really, really good. Really nice. Really enjoyed the quiz a lot.
There are some points I'm going to bring up on that. Firstly, it's a very popular answer because it's true. It's such a brilliant time to have. Honestly, it's such a weird, because it's a really small pub. If maybe not even a pub, I don't know if you could even call it that. Really small, literally a single room, not many tables at all. But it's such an intimate and close vibe. And what is it John Smith's, the organic lager?
No, I've never seen it anywhere else before. They have an organic cider and an organic lager, and then a darker beer, but it's just very amber and not sweet, but just my level. My level.
It also gets you really drunk, or maybe just me. It really takes you out.
It comes straight to your head.
Yeah. It's one of the, and it's such a lovely life, but yeah. And also, what's great about it is we do have a pub quiz team, but there's quite a lot of us. And what's great is you get different variations every week. You get a different amount of people every time, so you can chat with different people, different conversations. It's pretty chill, and yeah, as you said, it's a really good vibe, and it's a really nice place to be. And as I am also kind of Perlo in the way I've conceived this, he knows that. He's somewhere deep inside, he's got that embedded memory of Alex Ravenhall smashing a glass and feeling really guilty about it. So you've got him with that one, and he's very, very happy about that. Off you go. They send you off, and they continue having a lovely evening. So once again, you're doing great. That was De Rossi. Just give me a thumbs up. You can be happy. Now, Gianluigi, he's been silly all night. I'm not going to lie to you, Ben. And he's just getting more and more silly. He's getting really drunk off the sea breezes, and he gets so drunk that Perlo goes, "Look, I'm retired. You're not. You've got a game tomorrow morning. You need to sober up." Yeah, he has. It's big stuff. So he gets out the food menu to try and sober him up. And on that food menu, Ben, is 3 separate distinct dishes. Now, there's something I haven't told you. And that is, The reason why Pirlo is so suave is that after the 2006 World Cup, he invested his World Cup winnings in a small company called Time Warp & Co. And
really?
the company, it went straight into liquidation, and he lost a bit of money on it. But he did manage to seize the assets of the company, and one of the assets of that company was their time machine. And so, Andre Pirlo, as everyone knows, owns a time machine. That's why he's so suave. And what he's going to do with it is he's said that for your 3 set meals, you can use his time machine to go back to any 3 meals you had throughout your whole life. So it could even be, for instance, I have one where I had a Sunday roast when I was about 11, which was just, this idealistic one. And so if there are any certain meals in your life, it doesn't have to be, but you can go back and get them using his time machine. So that option is there for you, Ben, if you want it. But for now, please tell me, what are your 3 set meals?
I wasn't actually planning on using a said time machine, but I think I'm going to change on my answer and put that in there. I'm going to start with the 2 just general ones.
Yeah.
If we're in a... Oh, speaking of the time machine, that explains a lot why Andrea Pirlo stayed at the top level for so long.
Exactly.
He was just going right back one year, and he just, keeping himself on the top level.
Exactly.
If we're in such an Italian place, there really has to be either a very simple Italian pasta, or I'm just thinking pasta.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if people want to be weighed down as much as a hefty pasta could be. Gianluigi Buffon doesn't want to lose some sleep because he's had too hefty a creamy sauce.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking plain and simple. Garlic and oil pasta, which is, very classic Italian, just chopped up garlic in olive oil, put that in some fresh, egg spaghetti. That will do him well.
Perfectly. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Option number 2. Go on. Keep this train going.
I've yet to mention this actually, but outside on the little patio with the vineyard and the ivy and the sort of Tuscan cracked pavement, there is actually in the corner a tiny little pizza oven.
Oh, yes.
And it's just in front of the sea, so you get a good view while the pizza's cooking just in there. And honestly, we actually, I was thinking about trying to get a pizza chef in, but for now I'm just doing it by myself, so I'm just taking just general requests. But I think I would make one as sort of just a nice, really flat, very thin base, just tomato, some red onions, some peppers, some chicken, some chili flakes. Very simple. A bit of rocket on the side with some balsamic. That will do people very nicely.
I'll tell you what, Ben. Who needs a pizza cook? That sounds fucking magnifique. That is perfect stuff.
I'll employ myself twice, give myself double the wage, and owner.
Don't tell Pirlo. Just your Benedico Kelly is the very good pizza chef you've got on board. And option number 3 then.
Number 3. This is the one I'm going to go back in time for. Not very far back in time, but far enough. Maybe 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Croatia. And speaking of Croatia, we're back, and I can't remember what had happened, but I feel like something had happened with my dad's job or something, and we were like, oh, this is really good. Let's go out and have a pretty good meal. And I'm going to go out and have a nice meal. And we was walking across sort of this plaza across the rocks, and there was a restaurant, and it was like a tasting menu of 5 different dishes. And I was like, I'm going to do a bit of that. And it was really, to be fair, it was very expensive, but it was definitely worth it because this dish was, I think, the 3rd thing I had. And I'm not a fish person. I'm really, really not a fish person. But they did monkfish with some celeriac and some asparagus and little I can't remember the word. Little potato croquettes, but so small, little cubes.
Yeah.
And there was a rich sort of cream of asparagus around it, and it was so light and delicate. And I was next to the sea at this point, and it was brilliant. And I had a pint of Azushko at the time.
Oh, mate, perfect. That's literally idyllic.
It was just exactly what could convert me into liking fish a bit more. I never ever used to eat fish at all. But I do enjoy white fish now, and that was a very light, flaky monkfish with it was paired with the right flavours, and it was so beautiful.
So you're gonna bring that one in with the old time machine?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that one in with the old time machine. Put some little truffle on the top of it with some black pepper. That will suit just about anyone who walks in for a hefty price.
I'll tell you, no, but that's the thing, because it's a proper posh meal, and that's exactly what you want. You need these high-end options, because to be fair, the pizza as well, absolutely lovely stuff. You got the pasta, that's going to please all the locals. You got your pizza, which is going to please your tourists, and then you've got this monkfish, this delicate, beautiful, flaky monkfish to just for your Gianluigi's in the crowd. These big players who are going to come along and eat your food. Oh, what a lovely eclectic group of meals you have there, Ben.
I tell you what, Alex, I actually have a photo of that monkfish that I will send you that later, and you will understand just the appearance and the taste. You'll understand exactly what I mean. I'll send you.
I'm very excited because in my head I've got this MasterChef shit in my head. Some real smooth little image. But I really want to see that, and immediately as this is over. But for now, we've got to stick with bloody Perlo and the boys. So Gianluigi finishes his food, and he serves up a little bit, but I'm not going to lie, all that happens is De Rossi gets more drunk. And so now, Perlo you will never see getting drunk because he's so sophisticated. But De Rossi and Gianluigi are having a fucking great time. And they just shout over to you, ready, off the cuff, and they go, "Oi, what game / or activity do you have?" Exactly like that. And and you reply...
Ooh, what do I reply? I tell them that if you go down the steps just after the patio, there's a little shuffleboard on the cliff, and they can go out and play shuffleboard on the cliff if they really want. But I'm not one for scaling down my bistro bar to darts or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there is very little high-end gaming I can offer apart from maybe a shuffleboard at a push.
I agree because it doesn't fit with the vibe. So yeah, if you leave the pub, you go into the little garden at the back. You can go and play your silly little games, but this is a sophisticated bloody place, okay?
Exactly, that's exactly what I'm thinking about.
So they've buggered off, and it just leaves you with Mr. Andrea Perlo, and you're tidying up, and Perlo, he just goes, "Oi, Ben, what is this song playing? Because I bloody love this song." Now, little does Mr. Perlo know that you, Ben, have actually just got a really nice new jukebox, or, because it's your vibe, I'll give you maybe a record player. It's up to you. But on this, some sort of musical device, you only have bought one album. It was the first album you bought, but you started playing the album and you realised, oh, mate, this is the perfect pub album. This is the perfect album for my pub. Because... and so you're not even going to bother buying anything else. So what I want to know, Ben, is what album have you picked, and more specifically, what exact song is playing right now?
I'm gonna stray away a little bit from this setup. I'm gonna just say that I have the local coastal radio on. And it's playing. It's like Imagine Smooth, but only in Italian.
Yes.
And it's more not opera-y, but scaled up to that. And it's got beautiful voices and sort of calming music rather than anything else. No funky stuff. We don't want none of that in here. We just want the classics, old Italian vintage songs. And to be fair, I know absolutely no Italian vintage songs, but Perlo might.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
That's true. So we'll say the song that's playing is, and it's because the only word I know in Italian is terra, which means earth.
Oh,
so
that'd be a brilliant start to
yes.
our pub.
So the song Earth, which is a beautiful little local Italian numbers playing, and this is the song that Perlo bloody loves.
Oh, of course he does.
Now, as you know, there are only 4 famous Italian international footballers: Andrea Pirlo, Daniel De Rossi, Gianluigi Buffon, and Antonio Di Natale. And Antonio Di Natale, I don't know. That's where my brain went. I don't know why he's the first one, but hey ho.
Why your brain was going to Di Natale? There's a few others, but that was not one I expected.
Literally, I don't think anyone does. He just turns up, he just keeps playing up front for Italy, keeps getting goals. Everyone's like, why are you here?
Why are you still here? Why are you gone by now? But, you're more than welcome if you have the money to stay. But,
I like the idea that the three of them have a group chat and Di Natale's in it and they forgot he was in it, so he's just turning up to the pub and they're like, "Oh, hi Antonio."
Okay, sorry about that, mate. Yeah, come on in. Yeah.
No, Di Natale, he's seen the message on the group chat and he literally hasn't had a notification for 2 years, so he's literally run over to this pub. And obviously Perla knows he's coming, and he gets outside the pub, and outside the window, just outside the door, is a blackboard with a little message on it. Now, Perlo knows Di Natale's coming, and Di Natale is about to come in, but he sees this message, and he thinks, well, if this is a really shit message on the board, I'm just going to leave, I'm not going to bother. Perlo will know he's not come, he'll realise something's up, and he might pull out of investing in your pub. So it's actually quite a big deal, this. So, Antonio Di Natale gets to the door, looks to his left, there's a little blackboard. What is said on that blackboard, Ben?
See, I'm worried for some that when they see this pub, they feel intimidated or that they don't want to enter because they're a little bit scared that people have already established it as their own pub, and it's only for Italian people, it's only for the very top, or people might stray away from it. But Antonio Di Natale knows he's welcome when it says, "Come and meet a local in the local," but in Italian.
Oh, Ben Kelly, that is just beautiful. It's like pissing poetry. Oh, I like that one a lot. Come and meet a local in the local. Oh, that is a little bit of repetition there. We love a little bit of repetition. Very short message. I absolutely love that. He's straight in. He doesn't give it in fact, he runs up to Andrea and he goes, Andrea, there's a good message outside. He's like, shut the fuck up, Antonio. We really don't care. But it's a very good message, and he got him in. Right, let's say another hour and a half passes. You're getting your locals in, and now all four of them are sat in their booth, they're having a great time. And it's getting a bit later on now. And Andrea, he calls you over again. And this time you're like, okay, this is it, I think. I'm going to find out I've got the pub. And they sit you down, and Andrea Pella looks at you, and he looks at you dead seriously. There's no comedy in it. And he goes, "You're too good to be true." And you go, "Oh." And but this isn't a good thing, do you know what I mean? Like the way he's saying it, it's really bad. And he goes, "At the end of the day, there's no fault to you. You're just too good. There's nothing bad about you. I need you, Ben Kelly, to disgrace your character. I need you to ruin this perfect opinion. Because we don't know what really is going on. No one's perfect. If we sell you this pub, you could be the leader of a crime syndicate, and you could, launder money through this pub. We don't know what's going to happen. So you need to defame yourself by telling us your most embarrassing pub experience, Ben. And if we believe it, if we think it's good enough, we know that you're really a true character. We might be able to invest. So Ben, take it away.
This one is not exclusively pub.
Yeah, that's fine.
The pub is involved. I think in December. So this is relatively recently, recent enough to, be considered. Being part of the football team again. Apologies to bring that up again, but we're going for a football theme. It's gonna have to be a football theme.
Yeah, exactly.
We played a friendly game against. We're called DOMS, Dundee University Medical Society Football Club. We played Old Boys DOMS FC. So boys who used to be part of DOMS who had left and become doctors, and they came. Hi, one of our close friends who used to play for DOMS as well, sadly committed suicide. And then they were like, let's have a charity game and let's have a memorial game, have a trophy. And we were like, this is a really good idea.
Yeah, brilliant.
We played them. They beat us 4-0, which was really sad.
Yeah.
And then, because as a group we were like, oh, it's okay, we'll just go to the pub. So we went to the pub. We had lots of sort of awards and nice stories and stuff. And everyone, I was necking my tenants because I was already relatively boozed by this point, and people were saying, "Oh, we need to go somewhere else now. Oh, we'd rather go to a hall." So first year, come on, let's have some prees at yours. And I was like, "Oh, I really don't want to. I really, really don't want to."
Yeah.
And then about half an hour later, I had about 20 old men and like the rest of the football team, all stood in my kitchen, just, you know, drinking. And I would get really, really, really drunk at this point. Like, by the time I left to go to the club, after everyone was really polite and stuff, actually, in my house, that's what I was worried about. But no, everyone had left, and I couldn't remember leaving. And then so I woke up the next morning, and I was in my bed, fully, like, tucked in and stuff, and my girlfriend was actually lying next to me, and I was like, hang on, what? I was so confused. She was like, Ben, do you not remember anything? I was like, no. So she said that when we got to the club, I was inside for 10 minutes, apparently, before I was kicked out, and my friend rang her and said, will you come and, like, look after Ben? So my two friends actually brought me back, and Morgan met me at my place, and they'd taken off my top and my jeans because I was sick all over them.
Yeah.
And I was swaying all over, and then they left, and she started to look after me, and I was sick all over the floor, all over her arms.
Oh, mate, yeah.
And I was all over genuinely probably like 1.5 meters line when I woke up of just staying on the floor.
Oh.
And I insisted that I had to lie on the right hand side of the bed, which was next to the wall, not next to like the floor to get out and be sick and stuff. And Morgan was like, "Oh no, Ben, you have to sit on the left." And like, I was sick on the covers, I was sick on the floor again, and I just didn't. Apparently, I remembered absolutely none of it, and there was so much mess. Awful.
I mean, to be fair, there's a football theme, so Perlo's on board. And I'm sorry, no one in their right mind can tell me that they haven't had one of those nights. I have. I can, in fact, probably guarantee that 95% of people who come on this show will have had a night just like that. And there's something about football as well. I've had some of the worst drinking nights doing stuff with my law football team, honestly.
So much worse. It's because there's more of an attitude that comes along with it. Everybody's just like, drinks. And I'm not exactly like, yeah, drinks. I'm not like a football. Yeah. I'm not, but I get carried with it, and I got took, and I got swollen. I got swallowed up by the ocean at the bottom of the rocks. You know, that's where I was.
Hey, perfect. And I'm not going to lie, they love that because they've all been there. Every single person, apart from Perlo, of course, but Di Natale, De Rossi, and Gianluigi have all been in that same position. So they like, he's the one. And Perlo, he shows you a little rare glimmer and a little smile, and he goes, "Congratulations. You have got my investment. I'm going to help you build your dream pub. This is incredible news. Well done, Ben. I cannot wait to get involved. I'm going to bring in so many wines. I love all the options you've got. You have some amazing beer choices. You've got lovely stories behind everything. It's such a rich and fulfilling pub experience overall. It's fantastic. And it's so good, I'm going to give you a signing on bonus. And this signing on bonus isn't like a normal signing on bonus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you use my time machine and my extreme influence as Andrea Perlo, one of those popular people in the world, to get anyone you want, dead or alive, famous or not, celebrity or friend, anyone, no restrictions, to have a drink with you. I'm not even going to give you one person, I'm going to give you 5. So, 5 people you can have a drink with. So the 4 footballers, they all smile at you, they all walk out, and because it's a time machine, immediately, the moment they walk out, your 5 people walk through the door. What I want to know, Ben, is for your final little bit, who are they? So,
you're telling me that I have 2 salaries and a signing on bonus?
Yes.
Wow.
Hang on, but he doesn't know about the 2 salaries. That's a little bit of a tax deduction from Ben over there.
The tax man's just stroking his head at me in the corner, sat in the booth. He's like, no. 5 people I'd like to be there. I've already gone down a football route, avoid football. As much as I like people like Robert Van Persie, I would love to see him, but I'm not going to talk to him. I'm going to start, number 1, very close to home. I would love for my grandma to see what I brought. She's alive, don't worry, she's not dead.
Yeah.
But I'd love for her to be there with me and just have a little look around, because she'd definitely find things wrong with it, but she'd still love it anyway, because it was my idea.
Yeah.
And I think she'd really enjoy having a vodka orange soda sat on some metal patio over the shuffleboard, watching a sailing boat go by.
Sick.
Apart from that, I've got a bit more celebrity.
Yeah.
Number 2, I would like to meet Charles Darwin.
Oh, fantastic. The greatest celebrity out there, to be fair. I love Charles.
He is, his brain works very differently, and obviously he's come up with so many different things. I would like to sit down and talk to him about how his brain works, how he coming up with all these things, or like how to convince people that what you're actually saying is definitely correct, and like how to, because obviously he was like berated for going against like the church and whatever, being a Christian man himself, and he might not have the best, social life. He might have been a bit of a controversial character about some things that he did, but I still would like to meet him and talk to him about science and evolution and things, being a big nerd I am. Because the football boys can't see me do this, and football boys would laugh at me if I started talking about science. They've gone now, so I don't mind. Number 3, in a similar vein, David Attenborough.
Lovely stuff.
But since I was born, I absolutely loved animals. I absolutely loved them. And if I wasn't going to be, if I didn't do medicine in the end, I would have loved to just do anything to do with animals, like zoology or anything like that. I just find it so nice. And his voice is quite calming. He would definitely fit in a nice, relaxed vibe there. I need to think of another couple.
Yeah. If you can.
I'm going to go for another smart man, but someone to lift the mood. Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
As controversial as he can be as well, he could talk smart with the big boys, Attenborough and Darwin, but he could also bring it down to a level that would make me laugh. And he would definitely enjoy any of the alcohol on offer.
Yeah.
He'd have a good time there. And I don't put it past him to, enjoy the finer things,
I agree. I think he'd be able to be on your level more. I think he's someone who can really be quite chameleonic, and even when he is talking to the big guys, he can bring them down to a level that they enjoy as well. I think he's a nice middling ground for people.
Nice bridge. Number 5, I'm gonna go a bit different here. Again, different. I would like to meet the man who lives on the little sailing boat that gets my monkfish. The 85-year-old wrinkly, sort of bald, fat Italian man, not fat, but sturdy Italian man who's just 5'2", and he has so many different stories about grinding for what he needs and fishing and doing the same thing for 60 years or whatever. But I think he would have some stories, he would bring some culture, he would appropriate me very well to knowing what I'm serving, knowing my area, and I bet he would enjoy talking to the people as well.
I'll tell you what, that's my favourite option, because I love people who are so, to their core, normal, that they're so interesting. The more normal they are, the more vastly interesting they are. They've got just so many stories, and they've just got, so many experiences that you can't even fathom, and they can just ream off story after story. I love those type of people just sitting and listening and conversing with them. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, I think he would definitely bring a different element, because these people could talk about all these different facts and science and whatever and jokes and stuff. But if this man could just tell me about life, that's a different thing entirely, and how to keep your wife happy, and how to fish on a weekend, and all the other things, or how to serve pasta. He would know, and he would be like another grandparent or something.
Yeah. That is a fantastic choice. Now, Ben, you are having the best night. It's as good, if not better, than you expected with all these people. They're loving life. They are throwing compliments at you. They love the pub. They think it's amazing. And they've been buying you drinks. They're literally just giving you all the love in the world. And you go, right, that's enough. It's about 11 at night. You're getting a little bit drunk. Not quite the charity football match drunk, but, you're getting there, good level. And you go, right, shut up you lot. You've been so nice to me. I'm going to get you all around. And you get up to the bar and you forgot to ask them. So you're going to use what you know of them, what you think of them, as my final question for you is what is the round? So I want to know what drink each of them would have, and then finally what drink you would also have as well.
from my menu, I'm not gonna stray. I'm not gonna cheat.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the Italians anymore. Just the 5.
You're just a 5, yeah.
My grandma would really definitely enjoy a vodka orange soda because that is her drink of choice. Because for some reason she doesn't want Fanta. She doesn't want Tango. She wants orange soda and vodka. That vodka will, simple enough. She won't want to taste it, but she'll enjoy the flavour.
Yeah.
Regardless. Charles Darwin. Oof. That's a difficult one because he's a very old figure.
From your options, the one that stands out to me is that Croatian one. Cause I feel like he's quite a man of the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, what would I do for Darwin? Though? I think he would just be very happy with whatever I gave him. He might even just want tap water, just because he's so bewildered by all this modern stuff. But I'm just gonna give him a pint of Zusko because if I don't know, I'm gonna introduce them to something that they haven't had before. I'll give him a pint of Zusko.
That's a smart choice.
Next, David Attenborough. David Attenborough is definitely. I'm gonna give him a sea breeze. He would definitely enjoy a sea breeze.
100%.
Light and breezy. He wants the salt around the top. It's not just a normal breeze. It's a sea breeze.
It's a sea breeze.
He's gonna love that, man. Ricky Gervais. Red wine for Ricky Gervais.
100%, yeah.
Artie. I feel like he's got red in the face after a while. And finally, the man on the boat. See, the man on the boat has to be up at 7 a.m.
Yeah, so it needs to be something that he can deal with. But to be fair, I bet he can drink quite well.
I bet he definitely can drink quite well. But I don't think his wife would be very happy if he came back at 1 and he'd had a few drinks. I think he's gonna have a bit of sparkling water. He's gonna have some sparkling water, that man.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, because he doesn't need to drink to tell you all his amazing stories, does he?
It'd be even better if you can keep that.
Yeah.
Keep his level of perception without dumbing it down while we were all absolutely jaws on the floor.
Yeah. Ben Kelly, that's it. You've done it. You've put your dream pub. You've pitched it so expertly that you've won it. You've been able to have a drink with 5 amazing people. Thank you so much. I have a couple of thank yous to do if you don't mind hanging around for a little second. So first one goes to Sam Nason for the graphics, which you'll see, you might have seen on Morgan's one that just come out. They're very, very nice. Thank you too goes to Jack Patton for the jingle. It's a lovely little jingle.
Oh, it's a brilliant jingle. I've sang that many a time already.
And number 3 goes to Ben, the people listening. They're going to listen. When this comes out in about 5 weeks' time, we're going to have about 5 or 6 views, okay? That's 5 or 6 people, Ben.
Oh my god, wow. Hi, Mum. Hi.
Hello, parents. Thank you for supporting us no matter what, and getting this far through the episode as well. We really appreciate it. And the final thank you is a bit of a trick, this one. It goes back to you, Ben. It's been a fucking delight. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for hosting me, and thank you for playing up to my idea of such a pub.
Hey, I didn't have to. It's an absolutely sublime idea. Absolutely stellar stuff. Thank you again, Ben. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed this today's episode of the Build a Pub podcast.